Greetings, Solar Empire. That is you guys. I will conquer the entire solar system. I'm just going through a few minor setbacks in, the conquest of evil. And quite remarkable evil, and I have no idea how to do this camera thing properly yet. That's one setback. Eventually I'll figure it out. One day, solar system, you shall be conquered by me. But until then, I'm going to do a bunch of freaking rants about things that need to happen for us to go out there and start conquering planets like we should be doing. Seriously, what the crap is this? Where we're in the new millennium and we haven't even really done much for conquering. Like, we've barely conquered the moon. We've maybe touched it a little bit. We've perturbed Mars just a tiny bit and haven't, properly conquered it yet. Like we should be doing. What the hell, people? What the hell, people? I'm still trying to figure out a proper angle, because I look hideous in all these angles, and I can't see the camera here, but I'm just wondering if you can't see me, when I'm got the sun back to me. I mean, this does look evil and ominous. I'm also going to edit these with, better shots of me talking in or whatnot, to reshoot the parts that I don't necessarily think is good, add background music. But right now, I need to get something out there. I need to just start. This is the glorious starts of the soon-to-be solar empire under myself and the evil serpentine, generic serpentine thing that every fictional continuity requires. I mean, and I shall be in charge of it as, Lamia, Commandress. I'll figure it out. I'm figuring it out as I'm going along. That's part of, they always miss on moves, I know. And one of the things I'm actually talking about today is crows and talking with them. It's going to be a requirement that, you've probably seen them in the background of shots, or that thing there, there's a crow on the ground. We always imagine first contact with alien creatures is them knowing English. Them coming to us and be like, "Sup, dudes?" Or if you're from China, they're speaking Mandarin. Or if you're in Japan, they're speaking Japanese. Or if you're in France, they're speaking French. Or if you're Germany, they're speaking German. Or Russia, they're speaking Russian or whatnot. Well, no, actually I think in Russian movies, they're why the fuck would they be speaking Russian? That's crazy. So Russians have this sort of practicality to how they do things. Or at least that's how they're portrayed. Being really, really super freaking practical. And that's kind of the crazy part about the alien first contact thing is they always manage to come to us, giving us something we can understand and whatnot. And that's ridiculous. We need to learn how to understand cultures that are completely foreign to us, completely alien to us, on the grounds that they're not human. And the thing with crows is they've already shown that they have some way to mimetically communicate various things. They've done experiments where they have some guy with a mask come in, be an asshole to crows, put the mask away for enough years that the only people that would know about that would be the current crow kids, grandkids. So enough crows have kind of lived, die, or whatnot, passed on, that nobody should have actually seen the mask personally or whatnot. They might have heard their grandparent crow talking about it. And they brought the mask out, and the crows were like, "Holy fuck, what the hell, man? We're going to attack that thing because that thing was an asshole to us." Start dive bombing and fucking with that. So crows not only have long memories, they also have the ability to pass on information and knowledge. They also show signs of doing tools or whatnot, and sure, they don't think like humans because they can fly, their limbs bend the opposite way of ours, and their bones are hollow. Seriously. That's enough right there to not expect them to think like us. And sure, maybe they do. Maybe we'll, learn crow culture, learn, how to speak their language and meet them on their terms, enough to realize, holy crap, they're like us. They just don't speak the same language. Maybe we'll find that out about them. I'm trying to figure out how the camera shot to have my hand, because I tend to talk with my hands, because I'm evil. So, and that's the thing here, is there's plenty of creatures on the planet that we've already established have some kind of language, have some culture. Even other primates that we decided are too inhuman for us to consider, for having any kind of first contact with. And they look kind of like us. So that's kind of one of the things, well, we don't recognize animals if they look like us, and that's something we understand at this point. We need to work on fixing that. And we're not very good at learning other cultures, even other human cultures. We'll meet up with some new culture that we know fuck all about, and we'll have issues learning about that, and they're human. Crows? Well, they can fly and their limbs bend the opposite way of us and their bones are hollow. That's more than enough reason to think there'll be a challenge in, like, learning how to, like, have Rosetta Stone courses on how to speak Crow. Or, like, Rosetta Stones on how to, like, talk to termites with very scented sort of, like, trackings and layings. Or, like, how to speak to the octopuses. I mean, apart from in our deepest, darkest nightmares, where our greatest fears are presented for us to tell us messages of the elder things and the horrible ceremonies we shall have to do. Stars are nearly right, and the lucky ones will be the first to be eaten. But it's like we have jokes about people thinking they can talk dolphin or whale, and we need to get to the point where those are no longer jokes. And we'll look at those old films where, like, what, we're laughing because that person thinks they can speak dolphin. And to have it, like, where kids are like, Mommy, why is that joke funny? I don't know. I think your grandparents know why that's funny. We need to get to that point with our humor with this stuff. We need to get to the point where, and let's be honest, we're going to suck at this at first. And that's kind of part of the thing. We need to get to the point where we'll look at old language lessons, old books on how to, like, talk to, like, gibbons, orangutans, dolphins, octopi, and various other creatures that we'll find out have intelligence that we completely ignored as we find this thing just on this planet right now. And we're going to look at the old lessons like, wow, that's speciesist. Wow. And I think ultimately in doing this, because the crows obviously have some way of mimetically passing on cultural thing. And let's be honest, they probably have different cultures. They probably have different nations, different countries that work in a way that's, something we can understand ultimately. I believe it, like, we don't understand it, but that doesn't mean we can't. But, we can't assume that, like, just because one crow, like, just because they're crow, they'll know all of the other crows, or it'll be the same culture or way to do things. That'd be crowist. Well, it's one of the things that, like, if we're going to have to start thinking we're making first contact with aliens, we have to learn how to make first contact with the other life form on this planet that we haven't made proper contact with. We need to, like, get devices that we can, well, understand them if they're talking in tones that are below our hearing range or above it, and also devices to be able to make those noises as we're understanding it. And yeah, it's just one of the main steps that's required in taking over the solar system. This is your soon-to-be conqueror out. If you're part of the solar system, I will conquer you. And the solar system is like, this planet's around what we call the sun, the star named Sol. Yeah. I will conquer all of the solar system. After I deal with a few minor setbacks, but they're just minor. Ultimately,